lot of damage. And the healers did a great job at keeping him alive.
Okay. So Avalon and Lynx really kind of doing a good work keeping Danny up throughout a lot of pressure?
Yes.
We've seen a bunch about how hard it is to really play Rhine, and you know about this personally, how hard it really is to play Rhine in this meta.
Yes.
There's the new change to Rhine getting 30% less CC. That's only on PTR though, so it's not on this patch that we're playing on right now because we're playing on live. And so there's still all of the CC on Rhine. It's still a lot of pressure on Rhine to stay alive, and a lot of pressure on healers to keep that Rhine alive throughout all sorts of shenanigans. We see a 2-2-2 composition for Quinnipiac coming out. Still that kind of Brig Baptiste, which I don't really know how it's great, but Lynx dies early to the Junkrat, which is a nice pick off for Quinnipiac. And then that Junkrat really getting some good value for killing Danny too. Immortality Field keeps everyone alive through the sketchy fight, but it's now on Quinnipiac just to clear up this mess of the fight. And I think they can, but there we go. First point goes early and fast. 2 Trapezoidal Society. We have Banternet on the Sombra getting punched in the face by Harshmallow on the Doomfist. That first early fight, the 22 scoops on the Junkrat really got a lot of value.
Yeah, he's already 85% to his ult.
Exactly. I wonder if that's like his main hero or something like that. Just get a lucky shot off on Lynx. I'm not exactly sure how that went down, but the ult economy is a little bit in the favor of Quinnipiac right now. Not particularly decided either way. A good size anti comes out on the field of Quinnipiac members, and that triggers the attack for Trapezoidal Society. 22 Scoops gets 2 kills with that. And hopefully Quinnipiac can then transfer this into a team fight win, which is 2 kills. It should go there finally. Banternet working really hard on getting the EMP. She's almost there, 87% of the way. She's gonna probably get staggered here. Yes, she does. Vader swaps over to a Pharah. And so now Trapezoidal Society, they've only given up 52% of the fight, but they have some good ults to work with. They have the EMP Shatter combo coming on, you get an Nano coming out. They're now running a Pharmacy. There's not really a Pharmacy counter on board for Quinnipiac University. This next fight could be a pretty interesting one. Especially, there's the grab. You go.
The amplification matrix to come out early in this fight, I think.
And the grab potentially. They can make something happen with the grab. We'll see how the pressure from Vader on comes out.
The early EMP.
After the EMP. 2 scoops is incredibly low. Oh, that Muskie is also really low. Gets Danny though with a pin on the counter shatter. That Muskie's gonna die, and this looks like Trapezoidal Society will clean this up. Their combination of Shatter EMP wasn't particularly tight, but they made it work. Mega Honcho got a good grab in there, kind of started out the combination, and now we see switch ups. Yeah, and now we see switch ups from Trapezoidal or from Quinnipiac University. You get the 2 scoops onto a McCreep, hopefully to counter that Pharah. Quinnipiac University down to kind of 1 fight territory. They can build some ults. Trapezoidal Earth Society really needs to kind of push an advantage in their favor, make something work for them. Losing Vader early in a fight like that is not good. Lynx is really out of position, but a huge bubble from Letter saves Lynx, so Lynx doesn't die. Harshmallow bunches in deep. Nothing happens. Danny gets caught out of position by himself. And this fight looks like it's going to go around in the favor of Quinnipiac University. That just seemed almost like Trapezoidal Order Society was just spread a little bit too thin. What do you think, Scoot?
Yeah, like the Mercy getting behind the enemy team, way out of position there.
Well, and part of that was Vader dying. It's not necessarily just Lynx's fault. It was Lynx getting, it was Vader getting picked off. A barrage might get something. Oh, but almost a CC. I don't. Okay. Well, that's a bit important. So we have a game in our hands. We have Quinnipiac University tying up Trapezoidal Earth Society. Neither of these teams are very easy to pronounce, but I'm trying to make do my best. I hope we can do okay too.
But now, Trapezoidal Earth Society is swapping to a DPS heavy composition.
And this map goes pretty well for DPS heavy compositions too, right?
Yes.
And so actually, it looks like we're seeing at least ball from both teams potentially. And we've seen this Baptiste Brig combination for Quinnipiac University now 2 rounds in a row, and I wonder if they keep it. I think they think this is a good idea, and at least in the last round it paid off. I haven't seen it as much, especially on live. I imagine it being good on Marshmallow getting early pick on the letters. So that sniper duel goes one-sided. And we can see if Quinnipiac University can really take advantage of that being up one player. Danny gets stunned out. And then, yeah. Oof, and Benjaminette dies too. There's pressure right now onto the Pharah. But the Pharah can also, the Pharmacy can also kind of operate independently and put a little bit of pressure on. Lynx is dying. Lynx is getting low. Lynx is getting incredibly low. Lynx really needs a Ana shot right now. So much so that Lynx jumps out. Vader pulls back a little bit. They give a little bit of ground. Marshmallow back on the high ground, just shooting. Looking for that Widow duel, looking for that lucky shot. Matt Muskie just taking the ground. And this is a really hard push for Trapezoidal Earth Society to get any really like map control. Quinnipiac University just has so much map control right now. There's free Widow sightlines. Ball can get wherever he needs to really quickly. There's Junkrat spam. Trapezoidal Earth Society just have a hard time just getting any ground covered. But Mygo going down early is good for Trapezoidal Earth Society. A nice nano dive comes in onto the Brigadier. I'm not sure how good that'll pay off. The Immortality Field comes out. Matt Muskie charges back in to peel for his teammates. An Amp Matrix comes out. Zook dies to letters though. Avalon gets Beacon Savage. The 22 Scoops and Marshmallow kind of actually turn the fight around. And things are getting scrappy and things are getting close. Point control still in the favor of Quinnipiac University. Mygo gets back on point.
Oh, and Riptire gets the supports.
Yeah, looks like Quinnipiac University might actually have this. They might. It was looking sketchy for a little bit, but just Mygo and 22 Scoops managed to pull something else out, and reinforcements are back on point. So the wall hacks are up for letters. Letters lose defense. They ran out now.
There's some swapping.
Yeah. Okay, so onto Vader onto Widow, and then letters onto Hanzo. Danny onto, so now there's the kind of dive tanks. No Pharah out right now. Can't really play Pharah into that Widow, it seems like. Just controls this guy's a little bit too much. Looking for the dive target. There's not really a great dive target. Danny goes in super deep. Banternet follows. But look at the peel back onto Danny, and then Danny just got melted. And so Matt Muskie's antied, but what can Banternet really do? There's not enough pressure back there, and then Lynx dies as well. The Diva Bomb comes out, but everyone else is dead. So this is looking like it's going to be 100-0 for Quinnipiac University. That was really rather decisive. Stu, what do you think of this round?
Victory.
I think it was quite decisive. And it was a little bit nobody in the middle fight, right? But after like first fight and last fight went pretty strongly to Quinnipiac University. Can we tell exactly what went particularly well for Trapezoidal Earth Society on their first map that they couldn't really implement on their second and third maps?
I think what really clicked was just the swap to the Junkrat. Made things a lot better.
He got
for the maps, but
for the Quinnipiac University team.
yes.
The 22 Scoops, he got good value with his ults. One doesn't always get good value with their ults on Junkrat in kind of this level because you can so easily get shot or shut down, but he often went for these kind of mid-fight Riptires that sometimes got 2 supports, sometimes just got 1 or 2 like supports, but just enough to kind of sway the tide of a fight in a nice way. And so our next map is going to be Gibraltar, I believe. We're going to a escort map.
So, I think that we're probably going to see some bunker on this map.
We definitely could.
I would love to see a pirate ship.
Yeah. Well, and if we see a dive from Trapezoidal Earth Society, and I only really kind of noticed that last one in the last fight where Danny dove so incredibly deep. I thought he was just going to dive to high ground and then stage there so he could get team to move up a little bit more. But instead he went so incredibly deep into the backline of Quinnipiac University by himself that he just got melted. So I don't know if we're seeing a more kind of staged, precise dive. There's been a little bit of, I think it almost feels like Trapezoidal Earth Society just needs some time to kind of like gel together and get more like in sync and get their timings a little bit more precise. Okay, we have readies from both teams now. So we're going to go on to Watchpoint Gibraltar for our game 2. And remember, this is a first to 3. With Quinnipiac University being up 1, Trapezoidal Earth Society lagging behind now.
Arriving at Watchpoint Gibraltar. Initiate.
All right.
I always like this map. I think it's a particularly fun map.
Yeah.
I think the high grounds. Oh, you go.
I just like the just the sunset. Honestly, like visual-wise, this map is really nice. But also, it's just such a really nice like dive-heavy map, and I love watching dive play. So.
Indeed, and just like the way in which there's so much high ground, and you have these like big low ground and high ground sections, especially in street phase and first point, that can make it just kind of a really like, I don't know, complicated map. You can get holds, and just the topology of the map can really kind of throw you off. I think we're doing
bunker defense by Trapezoidal Earth Society.
So kind of double sniper bunker defense, it looks like. And then what could potentially be... So Hayden Savage, at least right now, is showing a Zen inside of the Brig. Now swapping to an Ana. We'll see if they swap to a Brig. See how this works out. They've done a little bit of this...
like untraditional team compositions from Quinnipiac University.
Indeed, because we'll see if they stay on this like Ryan ball. Like that's not really something we see particularly often, but it might work.
On with it.
Yeah, I think the Ryan does a reasonable job of creating a safe area on the point and for some shield for the like Junkrat potentially, or on the Ana at least. And the ball might do a nice job of displacing off the high ground. Perhaps that's their theory behind this. A huge pull comes out. The pull doesn't actually get any, doesn't pull anyone in, but Zook does die in it. But now you get these tricky situations like this. Like, 'cause look at the cart. The cart's still going underneath, and then you have Trapezoidal Earth Society stuck on high ground. And Avalon dies. This gets a huge anti, goes at Muskie, and it looks like this fight's gonna go in the favor of Trapezoidal Earth Society. We get some good. We get some alt charge going off for their offense. They pull out without losing everyone. Hayden Savage
with the hook on the Ana by Danny.
I was just gonna say, Hayden Savage playing particularly aggressively. And he got hooked in the headshot. Nice pick off from Danny. Good cleanup. Keeps Hayden Savage honest. It's a nice stagger for Trapezoidal Earth Society. Really slows it down. Okay, and so we see a change up. We see the Winston now. What do you think of this Winston change, Scoot?
I think it definitely complements the Wrecking Ball more than the Ryan does, but really see
headshots.
Heroes never die.
Headshots are brutal. Like, at least. Okay, so we have Vader pushing up. Hayden Savage, oh no, gets picked up again.
Wow.
Vader's playing particularly aggressively. She looked out, and so now Quinnipiac University are kind of fighting over the high ground. They don't really have control of it. There's been a little bit of a disconnect between Maigo Honcho and Matt Muskie's like timing on their high ground control. They haven't really been working together too much. They've almost been like tag teaming in a just like tag teaming in what seemed to me as like a not ideal way. So Vader's dragons, but now we have Mines and Blade coming out online for Quinnipiac University. The Nano Blade combo is not quite there yet. Look at this nicely staged dive, but Matt Muskie uses the bubble early, so then doesn't have it put out his background, and then gets kind of pummeled by letters.
At the beginning of that dive, they just took two separate targets.
Yeah. And so Harshmallow gets Vader, and that's a little bit of something, but they're gonna lose it. Harshmallow also gets letters, okay. And so this next fight, there's gonna be the Nanoblade combo, Venomine cleaning up Harshmallow, but Nanoblading into Nano, Ho-Hog, and Bongos will be a little bit tough to do. Let's see how they pull it off. Matt Muskie's back onto that Rhine, somehow thinking that Rhine's a good picking situation. Maybe it's just to push cart and put cart pressure while Maigo Honcho goes on behind. Oh, another great headshot by Vader onto Hayden Savage. Hayden Savage having a little bit of a tough game this time.
Yeah.
And this might have been what... Yeah, this might have been what Trapezoidal Earth Society needed to kind of get themselves back in this game. Look at this, ladder's just popping off now. The DPS duo for Trapezoidal Earth Society.
Headshots!
The headshots, just... I want to see what the critical percentages from critical hit percentages is for Trapezoidal Earth Society, because
Honcho gets hooked.
Yeah. And just the stagger, right? Because now it's really down to one fight territory. Quinnipiac University has to execute this next fight well to have it not be a full hold. But the Nano goes out early.
Nanoblade.
There's a pull. And then it gets Anna. But then Marshmallow dies. The tire doesn't go for the tanks. Instead is tracing off for letters. I think the tires are not going to get any value. It might get value. You know, the tires goes off. And then Zook dies to letters. It's a great shot. The pressure from Michael Honcho wasn't quite there fast enough. Hayden Savage dies as well. And now it's really down to just only 1 or 2 members. And 74.74 meters is not the progress you're probably hoping for if you're Quinnipiac University on your attack here. A late kill onto letters. Perhaps Quinnipiac University pulls out something incredible. I don't think they will, but they could. The res comes out.
No, we're not gonna make it.
Okay.
Ow.
What did you think of that?
They just really, Quinnipiac University, their dives were just not enough. Like, the Widow on, Trapezoidal Earth Society went, like, almost completely uncontested the whole round, and...
What, and he was, like, I think it was either, was it Vader on Widow?
No, it was Letters.
Okay, Letters on, he was just so far back, too.
Yeah.
He was in the boxes in the back high ground. One has to expend so many resources, and, like, one of the times we noticed, we saw Matt Muskie using bubble early before the dive really happened and didn't wait for the bubble to come back off cooldown. And so that really aggressive dive into the backline by herself without bubble, just kind of a suicide mission between Vader and Letters and the rest of the team pressuring the dive. The dive doesn't get nearly enough value, and it's just so far back that it's hard to kind of get just back there. You have to be very like methodical and planning about how you execute it.
Alright, so we've got Arisa Hog on X.
Yeah,
WPX.
double sniper attack. Quinnipiac running Arisa, triple DPS, or triple tank. So Arisa, Hog, Ball.
Ball hasn't left spawn yet, so that could switch up.
Okay.
But...
And then we have the 22 scoops onto Hanzo. Hanzo, it seems like Junkrat's really his shining character. We'll see how his Hanzo play goes. Feels like Vader is just hot on the Hanzo right now, just landing headshot after headshot on all sorts of enemies.
Yep, I guess that they are sticking with the triple tank composition.
Maybe they just are going for kind of an anti-headshot composition, right? Just go for kind of meaty bodies that just don't get one shot by like Widow or Hanzo. See Sonics across the board, a little bit of pressure onto the shield. Oh, and Danny dies early. Nice shot for 22 scoops, showing he's not the only. Oh, but that anti-impulse combo is huge. Immortality field comes out, 22 scoops gets picked off. And then so it's even, and there's a spawn advantage for the Trapezoidal Earth Society. A lot of pressure being put onto Quinnipiac University. They have to give ground. But now this is going to mean a high ground advantage goes to Trapezoidal Earth Society. And the high ground's so strong in this position. The 22 scoops being back. Look at Vader and Letter setting up on high ground.
Oh, Risa goes down.
Oh, brutal. Nice dive. Migo Hancho doing what he really needs to do, getting Letters in that situation. And then boom, 22 scoops also getting the kill on Vader. That's both DPS going down. A huge anti on both sides actually. Lynx goes down too. Avalon decides, actually, we can win this fight. And maybe he is right. Maybe he's right. He gets Zook, gets Marshmallow. This can go either way. The sleep onto Avalon. Solo dragons him. It's a ballsy play. Like it though, Benjamin decides we're going to res this right here, right now. Get Avalon back in this fight. 22 scoops trying to shoot Benjamin. Can't really get it out. A pole comes off. Hayden Savage comes down. Danny gets 22 scoops. And this fight.
Now it's only the Rhine. And the ball there.
Trapezoidal Earth decided to turn that around. It was messy, but they got it. What a committee.
Wow.
There was a moment there where Avalon decided we were committing to this fight, threw down bongos, and they got it. How stunning. Nicely done, Trapezoidal Earth Society. Good round, impressive hold, and the just really aggressive, like, committing offense. We'll see if this is the bongos play. No, this is a defensive play. Interesting. So Letters get Zook, a good pull, a lot of pressure in the pull. Hayden Savage goes down, then the Ryan's gonna go down too. There's no shield there. Okay, good play, good play.
Yeah, solid.
So now we're 1-1 in this match. We have Quinnipiac Esports winning the first round, and then we have Trapezoidal Earth Society winning the second round. Our third map will be Horizon Lunar Colony. We're doing best of 3. Now it's kind of like we're first to 3. We're doing a first to 3 format. Now we're kind of a like best of 3 format because we've had an even round.
Yeah, this could
What are your
go.
thoughts about that last game?
It was just completely like all around solid play from Trapezoidal Earth Society. And I feel like really just again the dives and the positioning of the Widow, by the positioning of the Widow by Trapezoidal Earth Society, the dives by Quinnipiac. It was just
Yeah,
just
good. I remember in Season 1 of Overwatch League, when we saw a lot more dive composition, we did see teams holding defensively pretty far back there. About where Trapezoidal Earth Society was, we would see teams hold all the way back there. They would give payload ground until about there, and then they could actually pull off like full holds from the end of point A, just because of how good the map control can be from those sightlines and how hard it can be to dive, and you can fight over the high ground, and it can just be like quite oppressive to really attack into. And if you don't have like the coordination you really need to overcome your enemy, or the ults you really need to overcome your enemy. So Horizon Lunar Colony, now an assault map. So we'll see how these teams do on kind of very like staged, precise attacks. It's even. This really could go either way. Looking at this last map, it looks like a kind of precise or like a staged attack that there's specific map geometry you're fighting over. Looks like it favors Trapezoidal Earth Society. But Quinnipiac also had some really good rounds on first map, so it could go either way. Scoot, do you have any thoughts about which way this might go in this upcoming round of Horizon Lunar Colony?
I think it favors Trapezoidal Earth Society, because once again the attack portion is mostly dive versus bunker, dive.
Yeah.
And unless Quinnipiac can get their dives down, I don't know if it'll work for them.
We don't know if it'll break it or even. Like,
yeah.
There's a part of me that thinks we could see Quinnipiac full capping, but there's a part of me that also thinks they could get full held. Okay, yeah. We have readies from both teams, so we can get into this match and figure out what's actually going to happen. We can speculate all day as much as we want, but I think we'd rather actually like watch what happens and see these teams pull off something incredible and surprise us all. So we go to the home of Winston and Hammond, right? Hammond, your favorite character?
Yes, I love him. He's my son.
Yes. Of course, escaping here in. Did he escape here in a spaceship, or because he didn't escape here in Wrecking Ball? He escaped here in some. He built his own spaceship, right?
I think or I think it was just like an escape pod or something, and then he got down to Earth.
Escape pod. I'm not exactly sure. Have you enjoyed the new rework of Horizon Lunar Colony, the changes into the new map geometry?
Yeah, I feel like I honestly kind of forget what they did, but I enjoy it more than I did before, at least.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so what do we see? It's going to be Quinnipiac University in blue, defending first. It looks like we're seeing a bunker composition, a kind of old school bunker. We see that Brig Baptiste again. We see Harshmellow on the Widow, 22 scoops on Junkrat. This looks like a good, solid pick. I don't really know much about Quinnipiac University, but it feels like this is a familiar team composition for them. And then, at least right now, no, I think we're going to see some change-ups from.
Yeah, I don't think the attack torp.
I think we're going to see a man with a much larger hammer coming out, but perhaps I am wrong. So there we go. There he is. There's the Reinhardt we were expecting. Bentonet comes out for an early scout, gets scouted, trapped.
Wow.
I think, or just stopped. I'm not quite sure. I presume she stopped because there was a trap there. I didn't quite see the trap. Oh, there is a concussion mine placed on the ground right there. So presumably that was a trap. Then a decloak. Unlucky for Bentonet. Walked right into it. And okay, so it looks like we're seeing a triple DPS dive composition with Anna Mercy for the attack from Trapezoidal Earth Society. I quite like this. You have the ball to disrupt the high ground, but look at that junk spam setting up the mines and concussion things on the ramp in the background. Danny has to push people off the high ground. The shield's coming out. A little bit of pressure back onto point just to pull Matt Muskie back. And then Vader and Letters just can clear up sightlines. A stun comes out into Bentonet, but she manages to translocate out in time, I believe. Yes, she does. Letters and Vader trying to find a shot. The rotation from Quinnipiac University comes through, so they're much closer to point now. Hack on Matt Muskie. Matt Muskie gets really low. Doesn't look like Matt Muskie's dying yet, but Baptiste Immortality Field comes out. Harshmellow out in the open. Does not get headshot, though. And now, the high ground... Yeah, exactly. High ground's been pretty much given up by Quinnipiac University. They're back fighting on the point. What do you think of this attack so far, Scream?
Earth Society has just been like constant pressure on the enemy team. Like it's just
yeah. But the Trapezoidal Earth Society EMP was not enough. There wasn't quite enough to follow up for it, and only hit 2. And so even though there was an EMP, look at Quinnipiac University's kind of in the backup point. Matt must be super low. The anti came out onto him, and they cleaned it up. Res was used earlier. No, that was res onto Bantuanet. So there's no res for Quinnipiac University. 22 scoops gets Bantuanet again. Vader getting Marshmallow, and Dragon's coming out, which could potentially zone people forward away from the shield. Zook dies. Michael Hunter dies. There we go. 22 scoops using that tire. I don't know if he's gonna want it back. But this looks like it's going to be a
Minefield Dragons combo was really good because it there were mines in front of them and the dragon behind them, so they honestly just had nowhere to go. And
yeah. It's not quite like trapped between a rock and a hard place. It's like trapped between like some magical dragons and exploding mines. Like it's even worse. So we see Letters using Visor right now. It's not to swap. He's actually looking for picks. There's some ults for Quinnipiac University. They could use something right now. Anti comes onto Matt Muskie. Matt Muskie gets the contest, and then a nice hook onto Danny. Yeah, that's a good hook. Quinnipiac University does not give 1 tick. They hold it nicely. But that shield could go down fast if Trapezoidal Earth Society wants to pressure. They decided not to. Marshmallow perhaps commits a little bit too much to the high ground. Letters get 20.
down.
Yeah. This puts a lot of pressure onto. Oh, and look at Letters with that angle. That letter angle was brutal, and the anti comes out. This is looking really tough.
The EMP gets Supercharger.
The EMP comes out. There's not anyone on point right now. People from Trapezoidal point are getting on point right now. Only one on point right now, which isn't doing the favor of the spawn advantage thing. Hey, so the spawns are actually going to be a little bit in the favor of Quinnipiac University. Letters getting Zookas a little bit. And there we go. This now really is putting that point pressure on. Michael Honcho putting a little pressure on the point, coming back, trying to stall it just as he can. But all the time there's just Letters on high ground. Okay, good. We have Marshmallow zoning Letters off the high ground. Marshmallow gets the headshot off, but Marshmallow dies to Danny's bombs. But still, we have 2 people on. This stall from Quinnipiac University is great, but also the fight's not really over from Trapezoidal Earth Society. Maybe I spoke too soon. What do you think? Do you think this fight's over? I think it's over.
It looks pretty over to me, but I feel like Trapezoidal Earth Society, that was their fight to win there. If they just played point, like
exactly. They had a lot of time where they were up and they weren't playing point. But that's also the difficulty of running Trapezoidal Earth Society's composition. They have a lot of people who don't want to play point. You have that Widow, you have that Hanzo, you even have that Sombra and the Anna. None of those people really want to be on point contesting. You don't have like a meaty like Roadhog and Orisa. Now we see Orisa coming out from Danny, so potentially Danny can just step foot on point and keep that point pressure up. But we'll see how this plays out. We get the blade from Marshmallow. We also have dragons from the 22 scoops. Bantunet's getting really close to the EMP, but I think got hooked and then headshot by Michael Honcho. Hooked, of course, by Matt Muskie. Nice blade comes out. Quinnipiac University deciding they want to win that fight, even though they were up 1. They use that blade. Vader's really deep, gets Zook, and then dies. It's kind of stagger onto Vader, but also gets him closer to that ult. And now we have a really strong position. There's good ult on board, kind of for both teams, where Quinnipiac University has a couple ults, but Trapezoidal Earth Society has the EMP, has Dragon Strike, has some Nano, has Mercy ult. There could be some value here. A deep aggressive mine from Michael Honcho. Gets Danny, and then Avalon goes down 2, so that should be the end of the push, and we're getting down to only 1 minute and 15 left in this game. Are those the plays that you like to see? The kind of really aggressive mines?
Yeah, especially the Roadhog hooked the Ana through one of the mines.
Ooh, that's aggressive. That's spicy right there. Nice to see. It feels in some sense like having Michael Honcho on this ball is a much better pick than having Michael Honcho on the Orisa, because it just lets them kind of put a lot more pressure in a lot of more places of the map. Previously, they got kind of zoned back, but now they're being able to be a lot more aggressive. Okay, so Matt Muskie goes down when he uses the Pole Hog. Zook's immortality field didn't get much value. EMP onto 3. Michael Hunter's gonna die for it. Harsh Mellow, not quite dead yet. 20 Scoops goes down. Danny gets real low, but manages to stay alive. Only a little bit of point pressure so far. Kind of love to see Danny just have that foot on the point. Matt Muskie coming in with the Winston, putting a lot of cleave pressure in. I think Vader's getting low, but no he's not. So Hayden Savage getting links. Tough to lose your Mercy like that. This is last fight territory. Kind of in a stall pop for 22, for Quinnipiac University. Late kills coming out for Trapezoidal Earth Society. Hayden Savage doing his best to stay alive. Dragons come on point. Michael Honcho just spinning around. 2 ticks like they're about to come out any second. Zook gets Bentonette, but pays for it with his life. Now a nice Winston dive. Ball coming in too. But Quinnipiac University has to pull out something incredible. Hectic. Big hook. Letter's got a big hook in 22 Scoops. Parchman's gonna die. Really favoring Trapezoidal Society. They just have that pressure in the corner of the point right now. Trapezoidal Society does. Which is really hard for Quinnipiac University to get into that. So even though they have 3 ults on board, they just can't quite get anything out of this. And it looks like it's going to be an overtime capture for Trapezoidal Earth Society. Marshmallow dying late is great. The Primal comes out.
Mercy goes down.
Yeah, Brantonette dies, but that's going to be it, I think. No one can touch. Yeah, those timers are so long. Michael Hunter gets on a point in overtime. Nice shatter. Vader diving on. That was a good hold. That was a really good hold.
Yeah. And I love how Trapezoidal Earth Society, they saw what was going wrong with their first, like, with their attack on second point, and they just switched and were able to take it out. Like, they swapped to the bunker, and they needed the point contest, and they got it. So
absolutely, because we saw that like kind of like slow progression onto point, where Danny with that shield just kind of eventually got onto point, and once they really got onto point, they never got off point. That was once they got on a point, they won that fight. It was a grind. It got to overtime, but Trapezoidal Earth Society pushed it there. They actually got the 2 ticks they needed, and made it happen. So now we have to see if Quinnipiac University can full camp, and if they full camp, do they have time bank, or do they have overtime too?
All right. So from Trapezoidal Earth Society, we see bunker with Hanzo and Kree.
That one is, oh, that's Trapezoidal Society. I'm mistaken. My apologies. I'm correcting you, but I'm the one who's correcting. But yeah.
So just yeah.
And then we have
dives from
we
the
see
right
this weird composition from Quinnipiac again.
Yeah, it's.
Let's see if they swap.
I just don't know about like any of that, like the tank compositions and also the healer compositions.
I almost wonder about if these are heroes that Matt Muskie and Michael Hunter are really good on, right? If they just have a lot of experience on Reinhardt and Ball, respectively. I like this pick, the letters onto the McCree though, because this letters on the McCree really can shut down a potential Sombra and a Ball dive, or an other sorts of dive too.
Michael Honcho's just sitting there back on the point. He might actually get. Oh,
almost got a tick.
Close.
Danny really left out at the last minute. That shield from Matt Muskie down really low. Michael Honcho really low. Immortality has to be used already. 22 students gets killed. Vader pops 2 headshots. Anti comes out onto Matt Muskie. And that's going to be an ult economy advantage for Trapezoidal Earth Society. And a quick first fight loss for Quinnipiac University. I kind of get the theory of what they're doing. You get Michael Honcho back onto point, use that as an opportunity to rotate like the rest of your team around, using Matt Muskie as a shield so the high ground doesn't get as much value. But I almost would have preferred to see Matt Muskie get up onto high ground, the rest of the team get up onto high ground and force Trapezoidal Earth Society off to high ground. They're going for a different rotation path. Look at the pressure on the Matt Muskie's shield though. He's already down, but
Danny gets moved off high ground. He could die here. Oh, Ryan.
But Matt Muskie's the one who dies. An interesting turn of events. I think it was gonna be Danny, but it wasn't actually. I mean, we see Avalon and Risa. There's just so much pressure on the Matt Muskie's shield.
Vader knows that they're hiding in that room there.
Yeah, there was a Sonic that came out, so it's gonna be a brutal stagger onto, who is this?
Oh,
Hayden
no.
Savage and Zook. Maigo Hancho King might get to the high ground, can't let anything happen. Matt Muskie kind of shielding no one right now. Hiding. There's a little bit of split. There's not the plan. Nice halt hook combo from Trapezoidal Earth Society. Didn't really pay off. But going to scoops low. It's hard to quite see what the exact plan of Quinnipiac University is right now. You would think maybe get ball onto high ground, lock it bluff, but without a like
point again.
Yeah. But Trapezoidal Earth Society aren't really falling for it, right? Okay, there's the rotation now going to high ground. Hayden Savage a little bit early. The Dragons to split them. Converts an easy fight win, I think, with the Dragons. It's a nice play for Trapezoidal Earth Society. And then a late kill on Vader is a good pick, I think. But there is Banternet on Mercy, so then Banternet can res it, and she's going to. So the late pick on Vader doesn't do anything. We do see good ults coming on board for Quinnipiac University. There's that Mines, there's the Blade, Rally. Rally might almost be what you need just to kind of push up into this. Just so you can take a little bit more damage and kind of be a meteor fight, having to go into a Hanzo McCree with that like Roadhog Orisa spam. Feels like Matt Muskie's just kind of burning shield a little bit there. The Rally comes out early. Matt Muskie's shield already low as soon as he comes around the corner. High Noon out. Immortality. Yeah, Immortality out. So much damage. Matt Muskie dying. Zook antied. High Honcho trying to get something. Lynx gets low, but the mines don't quite get enough. Zook dies to Vader. Blade comes out. Matt Marshmallow thinks he can turn this fight around. Lynx has another idea about this. And there's 36 seconds left. This is gonna be tough for Quinnipiac University to get something. A late kill on the Lynx is good, except for Banternet has res off cooldown now. And Maigo Hancho doesn't get the cancel onto the res, instead tries to kill Vader, doesn't get the value he needs to.
So Quinnipiac has Amplification Matrix and Shatter, but the Amplification Matrix just doesn't really have anyone to shoot through it.
Well, and they haven't really been able to get Matt into anywhere to use Shatter. He's had it for a little while, but look how much pressure on the shield that is. Nice pile drive, that could potentially get something, but not quite enough. A lot of tries from you, Maigo Hancho. One tick at least. Marshmallow getting high ground, 22 scoops doesn't get anything. 2 ticks come out. But that looks like that's going to be all they're going to be able to get, unless Maigo Hancho gets a ton of those bombs, but it's 2 of those bombs. Can he stall potentially to get respawns? I don't even know. No, he's anti.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's just pretty much full hold by Trapezoidal Earth Society.
It was a good hold by Trapezoidal Earth Society. There is just so much damage output from that bunker that Quinnipiac University really had to be efficient with their movement. I almost wonder if having Hayden Savage on like a Lucio or something might have been better, just so you can get just kind of through the chokes faster and get up the high ground faster. They ran that Brig Baptiste the whole time, and I don't know how much value that Brig got. Can't really heal as much as another healer, and doesn't really help with mobility, doesn't really help with killing people. They couldn't even really get to engage into fights to really utilize that Brig. What do you think about this?
Yeah, it felt like they were trying to play like 2 halves of different compositions and put them together.
Yeah.
Because you got your Ryan and your Baptiste and your Brig, which are Ryan Zarya type stuff.
Yeah,
but then they had the ball and the Sombra and all that. It was such a weird mesh of compositions that just didn't work together.
No. Okay, so this means we now have Trapezoidal Earth Society up by 1. It's 2-1 in favor of Trapezoidal Earth Society. Numbani is our next map. And unfortunately, from what we've seen now, it also looks like this favors Trapezoidal Earth Society again, because Trapezoidal Earth Society feels like they have kind of hardpoint defense understood well, and when Quinnipiac University has to cover ground and make an attack happen efficiently, it feels like they've been struggling with making that happen. And so with that first point attack on Numbani, it just feels like Trapezoidal Earth Society are probably going to set up a bunker. I imagine them playing like a Orisa Roadhog, seeing a Hanzo Widow again, and just seeing that, and it being really hard for Quinnipiac to just break that.
Indeed.
We'll see if Quinnipiac changes that up anything, if they keep running this kind of split composition. So right now we're getting teams ready. It looks like both teams are ready, so we can get into Numbani, our next map for this Watchpoint Alpha Season 6 Round 1 Match Run game. It's exciting. Tweet about it to your friends. Make sure everyone's watching. Slide into their like Snapchat DMs. Make sure they're watching. Everyone you know, get them watching this game. See if Quinnipiac University can really turn this around. It's an uphill fight from them. They might be able to do it though. We'll see. They won first map. They have it in them, I think. Don't you think?
Yes. Once again, they just need to get their dives down and maybe
Initiating match.
run something else.
They need to get their like movement down. Like they just feel like they just need to like tighten it up a little bit. Like just do things a little bit more efficiently. Like kind of want to see Matt Muskie like wasting a little bit less shield, using it a little bit more optimally, getting people into position they need to be in. So we could see this coming out. Who do we have on defense first? We're not quite sure yet. I'll keep you informed as soon as I can see colors on one side of the map versus another side of the map. Let's do Bonnie, point A. Instagram DM your friends, make sure they're watching this game. Reinstall Yik Yak, make it come back. Make sure people in your local area are watching this game. Get
Make
everyone
sure
you
to
know watching Watchpoint Alpha.
Send a priority mail letter to your grandparents.
Exactly. I think more grandparents need to watch Overwatch, don't you think?
Incoming.
Yes.
Like, what grandparents really, honestly, wouldn't enjoy watching Overwatch?
Most of them, but
We do see... Okay, so right now it's gonna be Trapezoidal Earth Society in blue, defending first. It's looking more like a Diva Orisa composition as opposed to Orisa Hog. This makes sense though because the Diva can contest high ground versus low ground a little bit better, and can keep that point like from being capped. We have Danny on the Diva, and
Quinnipiac is running some sort of
Goats.
Wrecking Ball Baptiste goats.
That's kind of a goats. I think that's a goats, but it's a weird goats. Matt Muskie getting a lot of shield down. Look at Vader just getting able to free fire straight down. Quinnipiac University. Zook getting so low. Immortality field comes out. Letters like, nope, no immortality field for you. Michael Hunter on the high ground gets Letters down to 1 HP, literally probably 1 HP, but does not manage to die. Banternet dies. Good shot from Zook. Danny on point, trying to contest the best in 10. Gets demech. Zook dies. Michael Hunter gets Link. That's both healers down for Trapezoidal Earth Society. Letters gets Matt Muskie though, and Letters gets Hayden Savage. This fight that looked like it was going to go in the favor of Quinnipiac University. Couldn't quite do it. Just the DPS from Trapezoidal Earth Society are so good. They're just so strong.
Greetings.
Yeah.
No healers. You lose Danny, you lose Lynx, you lose Banternet. Letters, Avalon, and Vader are like, actually, we got this. We got this. And we saw that a little bit on Gibraltar. How is this next attack going to be from Trapezoidal Earth Society? They decided to go underneath. Are they going to rotate to high ground? Oh, we are going to see a rotation to high ground. I like this. This forces out of rotation from Avalon. It could mess with the shield.
The minefield.
The minefield comes out actually almost a little bit late. Good bubble onto Michael Honcho, saving him, keeping him alive. The charge comes in with Matt Muskie. A lot of pressure out. Everyone's zoned off high ground now. But there go the bongos. Can now Quinnipiac turn this into a kill? Zook dies early. And then Hayden Savage dies as well. Pressure comes out onto point, but now they're down 2. And it looks like it's going to be cleanup. Bongos and High Noon looking like it's all it needs for Trapezoidal Earth Society to clean this fight up and to win this. Luckily, Quinnipiac University didn't use any ults. I really like that attack, actually, from Quinnipiac University. They didn't quite pull it off correctly, but it was much faster. They really got to where they needed to be, pushed people off the high ground. If we see it again, I mean, I guess they used mines, but if we see it again, it could be huge. They could see them do it again. A little bit better shield timing.
Michael Honcho back.
Yeah. Michael Honcho was a little bit late with those mines, because previously those mines could have kept Trapezoidal Society zoned in. Danny alone on point, stalwartly trying to defend it. Big pull comes out, doesn't get anything. Bomb comes out from Danny. Looks like it could be. There it is.
Whoa.
If that was Banternet, there'd be a emote and a wave going on, but it's Danny. Banternet doesn't do that. Cleans it up. It's just kind of a bomb. I think there's more ults too that I might have missed, but Okay, 22 scoops onto the Junkrat. Mind Shatter grab. Those are good ults that you can get things done with. And this is really on Quinnipiac University to win this upcoming fight. If they lose this next fight with these 3 ults, they're gonna have a really hard time getting this capped and getting any progress. Maigo Hancho goes
this might honestly just be the last fight here.
Yeah, Maigo Hancho goes deep, gets stunned, gets slept, gets anti. Oof, look at those dragons coming out, just splits Quinnipiac University. The immortality field comes out. Grab doesn't really get anywhere, it's gonna beat it above. Oh no. This is not how Quinnipiac University wanted their game to go. Maigo Hancho couldn't even use those things. The grab didn't get anyone that needed to. They're into fast characters now, just trying to get back in time. But there is also Bongos and Nano for Trapezoidal Earth Society to kind of just stop anyone from being able to have a real fight. Back to Maigo Hancho. A lot of pressure going to come on him right now, especially after Matt must be dying. Maigo Hancho just burns down incredibly fast. Overtime ticker going down. Immortality field goes down. Zook, 23 scoops die as well. Avalon nanoed. Danny cleaning up Hayden Savage. And that looks like all she wrote. Really, really solid defense from Trapezoidal Earth Society. That was decisive, wasn't it?
Yeah. They just didn't give Quinnipiac a chance to do much whatsoever.
Even like the good rotations and the good plays from Quinnipiac, it wasn't enough. Like, first fight, picking off 2 healers, demecking a diva, not enough. You'd think it was enough, not enough. Good rotation, pushing Trapezoidal Earth Society off high ground. Might think it might be enough, think it might be able to like be converted into a point capture. Nope, not enough. Trapezoidal Earth Society are like, actually, we can handle this. It feels almost like we were watching a completely different Trapezoidal Earth Society from the first map. Like, it just feels like they needed like a warm-up map, right?
Yeah. It seemed like something clicked, and now they're just good. Very good.
I mean, I think we saw on first map, we saw Harshmellow win the Widow duel against Letters once. And then I'm not sure if Harshmellow won the Widow duel ever again. It hasn't been that many, but still, it just feels like Letters was like, actually, I'm just going to land on my headshots. I'm just going to do great. And decided to do great, and it was then.
So here we have Matt Muskie, who previously was playing Reinhardt, is now on Torbjorn. And Harshmellow, Genji once again. So they're running another DPS heavy composition. 22 scoops on Prince again.
And it looks like there's going to be a kind of dive goats from Trapezoidal Earth Society. They might swap things off. Get Winston instead of Reinhardt and Ana instead of other options. Or Ana as the main healer option. This makes Hayden Savage on Ana for the first time I think we've seen. And Zook on the Baptiste again. But what makes Hayden Savage particularly vulnerable is Hayden Savage playing close to Muskie's turret? I don't think so. I don't exactly see where the turret is right now. Trapezoidal Earth Society going around for the light, long flank. 22 scoops, I believe, manages to get Banternet off the map. Maigo commits to a pretty hard roll through. Gets a good amount of ult charged.
Trapezoidal Earth Society is just backing out.
Yep, a nice play for Trapezoidal Earth Society. They gave a little bit of ult charge losing Band, but ultimately just decided not to give any more. And then it looks like there's going to be team comp swaps from Trapezoidal Earth Society over at least to a 2-2-2, potentially more. Banternet might say that Diva. The Diva enables good damage mitigation against the Junkrat and also the Torb, I guess. You can eat up the Torball, which is particularly nice. Danny dives in deep, kind of alone. Banternet following. Zook gets the kill onto Zook, or Letters gets the kill onto Zook. And point pressure already coming out halfway there. Harshmellow trying to put some pressure onto Lynx, doesn't quite get it. Vader's like, nope, actually I'm gonna put pressure onto you. Hayden Savage goes down. Vader gets picked off by like a trap, but this fight's gonna be hard for Quinnipiac.
Yep,
and there we go.
There it is.
Okay.
Wow.
Trapezoidal Earth Society are our winners. Congratulations, Trapezoidal Earth Society. In what was initially a hard first map, they just turned that around and did some incredible work. This is the 3K bomb, right?
Yep. And there's no emoting nor waving.
No, right back to business. Look at that.
Wow.
And then just cleanup kills, securing it. No time wasted. If I'm Avalon had a 21-person kill streak, which, if I'm understanding that correctly, means Avalon did not die that entire round.
Thanks for your support.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Pretty decisive. Nicely done,
I just want
Avalon.
to point out what I loved. The first attack, not the first attack, the first push on offense by Trapezoidal Earth Society. They realized what the comp that they were running wasn't going to work against them, and then just went back to spawn and swapped immediately. And
Yep.
that was just like, yeah, I feel like that could have like won them that map. Like seeing the problem and then just
Well,
changing.
and they didn't feed much alt charge. They didn't really like commit to a lost fight. They just kind of, we all spanned to a net. Actually, this composition isn't going to work very well. Let's go again.
Exactly.
Let's get a better composition. Attack us as we need to. And that's really the attacker's advantage you have. And I don't remember Quinnipiac University utilizing that, making swaps to kind of better counter the situation. They did that a little bit on Gibraltar, but they didn't really use that on Numbani. And so now we have to think about who really like shined in that match to you? Who do you think is an MVP?
I would say we do like, I forget. Usually they do like an MVP for each team and then a voted MVP or
And overall?
yeah. So I'm just gonna start with Quinnipiac.
Yeah.
I loved watching Migo Hancho play. Like
Yeah.
he got like lots of kills with minefields and generally did a good job at staying alive, like with all of his roll throughs and stuff. And I really felt
exactly. And I also kind of want to spotlight the 22 scoops. The 22 scoops had great Junkrat plays, right?
yes.
Who shined for you from Trapezoidal Earth Society?
Of course, letters and letters with just the headshot kills, like it was just
Letters and Vader, like for that. It just maybe they got a lot done.
but I guess wait.
Chat,
We have...
who do you think? I see some bants in chat. You're a minute behind me, unfortunately, so we might have to hear from you later. But
yeah, I'd say my MVP for Quinnipiac would be Migo Hancho.
okay.
Who would you pick?
I think I'm gonna go 22 scoops. Migo Hancho's good. Saw Muskie make some nice plays. We saw Hayden Savage just kind
Of
of
course,
beating everyone to
probably
the
a little
middle,
bit biased.
Hmm?
I'm probably a little bit biased just because.
I think a little bit, but
just a little bit. And then gotta go with my MVP on Trapezoidal Earth Society. Gotta go with letters.
okay. I was kind of thinking Vader, to be honest. But how do you decide this?
Well,
Who do
they're
you
both so
wanna
good.
interview? I don't know if we can interview the whole DPS line for Trapezoidal Earth Society. I will talk to my production manager to see if that's possible.
Production manager.
Coin flip quick.
Okay.
Heads goes to Vader. It is tails.
All right.
So we're bringing in letters for our interview.
Yeah.
We can make that happen. Drag letters up. Letters! Congratulations. You are our MVP. Congratulations.
Did I just get dragged? Okay.
Yes, you did.
Interesting.
Yeet.
Hello.
How do you feel about that game?
I actually feel like I got carried, so I'm kind of surprised to be here right now.
Okay, well, who do you think carried you? What really enabled
My
you to
team
make it this
carried
run?
me.
Your whole team?
The team, we just have such great teamwork together, you know? We're a newer team.
Mm-hmm.
We've been playing for about a month, and we've really just come together, and it's like, we're not, I don't know, we work really well together, and it's like, everybody pops off. Like, Bam pops off, you know, all of our, everybody pops off.
Danny got huge bomb, Vance got huge bomb.
Danny, Avalon's
really
a monster
healing.
on Orisa. I don't think he
Avalon
died.
just could stay alive through everything and just committed to fights and turned it around to his favor. It was amazing, right?
Team's insane.
Yeah. You got good headshots in there. And one of the things that we noticed was kind of the first map looking almost a little bit like, I don't know, out of sync or something like that, right? And you kind of expect that from a new team. But then by second map, You're like, actually, no, we can be in sync. We
Yeah.
can do this wonderfully. We can just turn it on and just go. And you just did, right? It was great.
We made some interesting swaps because of course we didn't really know much about this team that we were playing. So they caught us off guard with some things. I think that really threw us off the first map. Was not expecting a ball the whole time, and so that's why I made the swap off the Widow to the Kree because the Kree's busted.
I wondered about that because on the
Yeah.
Horizon Lunar Colony Defense, you had the McCree, which just helped shut down the ball so
Yeah.
much, and then same thing with Nimbani. And they did run some unorthodox compositions, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. It really caught us off guard. They ran like I don't even remember. They ran
And they had like double main tank a lot of the time.
double main tank.
Baptiste Brig.
Bab. Yeah, they didn't really swap around a whole lot. They played Junkrat a lot, which was interesting because it's good to counter bunker, but I don't know.
If you can't get him there, you can't really counter, right? If you can't get the Junkrat to the bunker, it's actually like Gibraltar first point defense. You and Vader just had such good sight lines, good high ground control, and just shut them down. They just couldn't get anywhere.
Yeah, it was a fun game. They played really well. Like I said, they caught us off guard. My teammates are insane. Like I said, I always say they carry me.
Yeah.
They allow me to play DPS. Right, I couldn't get anything done without them. I love you.
So do you think you're gonna make it all the way to finals and win it?
We're winning this shit. Sorry,
Good.
I didn't mean to do that. I'm hyped.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I'm glad to have you. Fun to see such a new team, only one month around, performing so well in a great first match. Excited to see how you do in the future.
Yeah.
And thank you for the interview.
No problem.
Hey.
Anytime.
So I think that we still need to do our viewer MVP.
Viewer MVP. I see a lot of viewer MVPs in favor of Banternet. I mean, maybe it's just Dart and Muffin rooting for Banternet, but
wait, is there not a poll this time?
oh, is there a poll? Where's the poll? Where's Paul?
Uh-huh.
Paul?
Wait.
I'm hearing from our production staff that Banternet is our viewer MVP. I'm going to pull Banternet in right now. Congratulations, Banternet, on being our viewer MVP and winning your first game in the tournament. Banternet, are you there? It's seeming like we're having production problems right now. We have Banternet in the studio, ready to do an interview. Hear from her, our viewer MVP, about how things went. Banternet, are you there now?
I am.
Okay, great. Congratulations
Yay.
on that one.
Thank you.
And congratulations on being our viewer MVP too.
I'm so stoked.
You had. What are your thoughts about that game? How'd that go for you?
Well, first of all, I was really freaking nervous. Like, my team can attest the entire time I was just making a bunch of weird sounds and just shaking for a solid, 30 minutes before that game started. Mostly because tournament play is a lot of pressure, and we're a brand new team that's kind of made out of the remains of two previous teams. So we were a little bit nervous, especially since we scrimmed these maps last night and we got rolled. So we were like, all right, we're probably gonna lose these.
But you managed to kind of sync up as a team remarkably quickly in this match.
Yeah, that's one reason I really like this team, because we don't necessarily have the same. It can be a little difficult with this team because we have a lot of people that have specific heroes they like to play instead of specific roles, if that makes sense. So it can be a little difficult to get comps going, and we had a lot of difficulties with coordination and stuff in the beginning. But we also are all really good friends, and we just have a really good time together. And I think that chemistry got built really quickly because of that. And we all trust and respect each other. So at that point, it's just trusting people's instincts and just going for it, which worked out for us.
Well, and I could, because you mentioned earlier how nervous you felt. And one of the things I noticed from at least the spectator booth is I didn't see any of that in the actual play, right? Your play looked fantastic throughout the whole game. You landed that one huge bomb in, I can't remember which map that was at this point, but you just good plays all around.
The flexing from your usual Sombra to Mercy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, which honestly is also a reason why I really love this team, because I'm only in Mercy Jail when I basically request to be. Because the double sniper comps and stuff like that we were running, like I was like, all right, I'll play Mercy for those. But then I get to play a ton of Sombra and a ton of Diva, and those are my two favorite heroes. So all of the teammates get to play who they want to play, which
I have a question for you actually. On Horizon Lunar Colony, right on your attack, right out of the gate, did you walk into a Junkrat trap? Was that what that was? Okay.
No.
Chat, we're not going to talk about it. Chat, we're just going to pretend it didn't happen. I have a clarification. It was not what
I was
actually happened.
scouting and I didn't see it because my awareness is garbage.
Your
I'm
scouting
like,
crashes a
that's
little
what's
bit
so
more
funny
scouting.
about my Sombra. I'm not sneaky. So I was
What happened-
translocating back and I walked straight into it. We're going to pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah, no, that didn't happen. What happened was the Junkrat got a crazy headshot on you, and there's nothing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. He threw his trap at my feet while I was invisible, and I didn't see it coming. And what can you do?
Okay. Well, congratulations on being MVP. Thank you for stopping by for our interview. I wish you the best of luck in your upcoming games. And so happy to see a brand new team, only a month old, doing so well in their first game. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Congrats.
And so that's going to wrap up our coverage for our first match of Watchpoint Alpha Season 6. We have another game coming up at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's an hour and 45 minutes. Hope to see you then. Have a good afternoon. Bye.
Stay epic.